From the streets of Southwest, legendary self-made progress. Last time that I checked. Hey, and we welcome you in here to the Wednesday edition of D'Lo and KC. So happy that you are here with us. I'm Damian Barling. He is Kenny Caraway.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be joined by Jason Jones here at the bottom of this hour. We've got 49er football to talk about. We've got an actual football game to talk about, like a football game that is taking place today.
Today?
Like Wednesday.
Oh, I thought they played football on Sunday and Monday.
Okay, on Thursday, not this week on Thursday, just on Wednesday. And by the way, this is week 12. This isn't week 13.
Still?
Normally week 13 would be starting tomorrow. This is week 12.
Still week 12. Okay.
But hey, right. NFL is handling this COVID thing fantastic.
Let me tweet that out real quick. Let me tweet out that the NFL is doing such a great job. Yeah. They haven't canceled a game.
Just start calling you Booger Caraway. McFarland and Booger McFarland and Adam Schefter carrying the water for the NFL, and they're just fumbling of this. But 25 Baltimore Ravens have seen that COVID reserve list.
Wow.
25.
There's only 50-something roster.
Half the team has gone to the – hey, and you know what? My bad, because I said, you know what? They're not going to move a primetime game. Well, They moved the last Thanksgiving game. Well, you know what will get their attention. You know what will create the Week 18 scenario? Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, one of those guys. Nope. Lamar made the list, as Chris Jericho said a couple of years ago. And so
Lamar's still on the list, right? He's not playing today.
No, it's RG3 and Dez Bryant.
Is this
welcome to 2010? Yeah. RG. It's the NFC East happening here today with the Steelers and the Ravens. So we'll keep you updated on that. We'll talk about that. There are some other things to talk about, including the Ravens and Steelers are playing, and another team in the AFC North had their facility shut down. All the while, we've got a basketball season getting ready to start outside of the confines of a bubble. So we'll talk about that. Let's start there. Let's start with the Kings.
Can we start with how, I just, blew your mind again 5 minutes before the show?
If you want to say that on the air, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell them. So let's go back to draft day here for just a minute. Let's go back to draft day here and say that KC was lukewarm. Mm-hmm. Is that fair? Lukewarm on the initial the call of Tyrese Halliburton as the 12th overall pick for the Sacramento Kings. And you warmed up. You once we talked to a number of different people. You started to feel better. The next day you felt a lot better. Mm-hmm. But go ahead. Share with everybody what you just shared with me.
So yesterday, watching Tyrese Halliburton highlights, and I was trying to get in there, right? I was trying to get in there with everybody else and be like, well, maybe the first time I was studying the young fella, I didn't see things, correctly. So let me see if I go back through the highlights, go back through some of the stuff I saw, if it'll jump out to me. And I was watching. And Damian, you know who I saw? I'm going to ask you. I know you already know, but I'm going to just ask you for the sake of the story. You know who I saw?
Yep, I do. But go ahead. Tell everybody who you saw. And I would just like to mind you, as soon as he said this, I got up and left.
True story. Magic Johnson.
Now, to be fair, Magic felt the same way. Like Magic tweeted something about that. Magic was very high on the selection of Tyrese Halliburton on draft night. He was very
and that played in probably what I saw, right? Because what Damian is talking about is, I don't know if he tweeted about all the draft picks. Mm-hmm. I feel like he didn't, right? I feel like it wasn't just Tyrese Halliburton, but he was like one of a select few that Magic tweeted about. And Magic said, so excited to see Tyrese Halliburton play, aka Little Magic. Like Magic Johnson called him Little Magic, right? And some of the reasons why I kind of got that, obviously, look. I'm ashamed to even say this, right? To even
it's all right.
Put that out there, right? Because I know there's under no circumstances in this world will he be Magic Johnson. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying he's necessarily going to be close to him.
Brother just hoping to get a mattress here at this point. That's
Right.
that's all he's hoping for. If you
Right.
if you saw those clips on social media yesterday, my man's just trying to find himself a mattress. But go ahead.
By no means am I saying that, but there is elements to his game goes that does kind of remind me of Magic in some of the things that he could do. And when he's in the open floor, the way he's with a flare, I'm not gonna go disrespect the man because people could watch my game and be like, "Ugh, Kenny, your game was ugly or whatever." I don't think so. It was pretty smooth. But me and my boy, we always talked about how Magic Johnson's game, like visually, was kind of ugly sometimes, right? Like he was just long and gangly, and you equate Magic Johnson over the head pass to a Jason Williams over the head pass, right? Jason just looks smoother. It just looks cooler. It's compact. Magic is like leaning off to the side. He's got his leg kicked out the other way and it's going over the head. And it looks a little crazy. It looks like, what are you doing? But it like the ball is put in the perfect
It's where it's
place, right?
supposed to go. Yeah.
Exactly, right? And I see some of that in Tyrese Halliburton. Like it's maybe, and that might be like what didn't do him at first because it was a little unorthodox, a little ugly, some of the things he does, but it gets where it's supposed to get, and it gets there the right way at the right time. Tyrese Halliburton, the next Magic Johnson.
Okay. Can we? Okay, wait. You said he reminded you of me. Can we just let the brother? Can we let the brother get a mattress first, and then can we just
let's start there?
They haven't even started practicing yet. Can we just get a little look as to what my man might look like? But
this is gonna be a video today.
Yeah. Speaking of, we'll mention this once. We're testing something out over on YouTube. So if you want to go search D'Lo and KC on you again, just testing it out, just trying to get a feel for how some of these different things go. But we're messing around. We're looking to grow here in 2021.
You can see Damien's very nice sweater. I like Damien's sweater today.
I appreciate it. As I noted before the show started, I introduced this. To the entire West Coast. This ribbed. What would you call this? A salmon? I don't know what you would call this color, but
go salmon with it. It's the first thing would be pink. That's the first thing. But I mean, the technical, because I think salmon's a little. It's a little. I feel it's a little light. It's got a different hue, but I think that's pink.
Okay, nice. We'll go with that.
It's nice.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
You guys can check it out too, though. Like you said on YouTube, y'all can check that out.
Search us out on YouTube, and yeah, we're working with it. We're testing out different platforms. Like we're working on, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live, all of these new things that we're going to be adding into 2021. All of these new things that we're looking to add here as the NBA season gets started, and we really start ramping up our Kings coverage, because this is going to be a unique year, man. We've talked so much about Buddy Hield. We spent some time talking about Marvin Bagley. Luke Walton said something yesterday about Marvin Bagley that really got my attention. Here's the Sacramento Kings head coach talking about Marvin.
Yeah, well, Marvin proved. I mean, it's unfortunate we only had him for 12 games last year because he's a very talented, exciting young player. But one of the things I told him that I was most proud about with him and what I'm excited about is he had some really tough breaks these past two seasons. And every time he does, he works extremely hard to get back. His mindset is in a really good place right now. And we're thrilled to see what we have with him this season, and yes, I believe he will be ready to go come start of the season.
I like that.
I loved hearing that, man. Like I just want my man to be healthy, dude. That's all I really want out of this is just let my man get out there, let him really get his NBA career going, let him get his legs underneath him, and let him kind of start building.
Yeah, man. For like I said yesterday, and I think you feel the same way, Damien. I mean, not that it would matter if he was a jerk, but for all intents and purposes, seems like a great kid. Works hard,
Mhm.
dedicated to his craft, dedicated to trying to get better, and all he wants to do is play and see if he got it. Just like we all want to see, do you have it? Are you what we think you could be? And he wants to go out there and prove he is. And that's the worst thing in the world to like not get the opportunity, right? Not because of your own doing. He's not being reckless. He's not doing anything. He's just going out there trying to play, gets hurt, and he has been through a lot in the first two
Mhm.
seasons of his career. And like you said, I just want to see the guy healthy and having a chance on the court to show and prove. So I'm rooting for Marvin Bagley real hard, man.
Yeah, so am I, man. And this again, it's such a weird season where you know most other franchises are going, and there are exceptions. Oklahoma City is probably an exception. They're probably just trying to figure out. They probably have no idea what this year is going to look like for them. Though I don't think they're going to be trash.
No,
I don't think they're
gonna
going
be
to.
trash.
I don't think so. I
Mhm.
don't think they're going to be what they were last year. But like, you think that are they the worst team in the conference?
Absolutely, hands down. It's not even
Really?
close. And I think they want to be. I think they're trying to get Cade Cunningham or Jalen Green. This is all part of the plan.
Well,
Tanking, I
okay,
guess you
that
can call it.
that might be accurate. I don't think they're well. How many draft picks
They
do
don't have any NBA.
They have like
players
all the
in
first
all
round
draft
playoffs.
picks.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
got Shea Gildress, and I don't even know if they have four other players.
Okay, that's probably correct. But okay, with the Oklahoma City Thunder as an exception, I think most other teams are going in like, okay, let's look at this player. Let's we're measuring wins and losses. And I think as a Kings fan, I think most Kings fans are going in here optimistic. Maybe they're going in hopeful, but really it's just like, all right, we gotta watch Buddy because he has this passive aggressive behavior on social media. So we got to keep our eye on that and figure out how is his dynamic. Is he going to talk to Luke Walton during games? Are they going to look at each other? Are they going to do the old Eric Spoelstra, LeBron James shoulder pump? Like what is that? How much influence is Monty McNair going to have? How much influence is Alvin Gentry going to have? What does De'Aaron look like now that he got paid? What does Tyrese Halliburton look like? And there are so many different stories, and it goes to a line that Jason Jones used with us when the show first started back in August. There's this post-traumatic stress disorder. Like we keep waiting for something to go horribly, horribly wrong. Mm-hmm. Kings could have a fully functional season, but we're going to be on the edge of our seats the entire 72 games, if that's how many are played, because we're expecting something to go wrong.
Yeah.
Because we always expect something. Because normally goes terribly, terribly wrong during the course of a Kings season.
Yeah. The last 15 years, this has been going wrong. So,
well, we'll talk with Jason Jones.
It's over, though. It's going to change.
We'll talk with Jason Jones coming up at the bottom of this hour. He'll be with us. Also, Bogdan Bogdanovic spoke yesterday. Let's find out what he had to say as D'Lo and Casey continue here on Sacramento's home of Kings Talk, ESPN 1320. So I think y'all on YouTube can still hear us.
What's going on?
I want to throw this at you real quick. Something that we're kind of concerned about when Jason joins us here. I think Jason's going to be on the phone. I'll send him the Zoom link and see if he wants to get on. But you might not be able to hear him. In fact, I'm pretty confident you won't be able to hear him. So that's going to be the. Yeah, so that's if he's on Zoom, you're going to be able to hear him. But if he's on phone, you're not. So I'm going to send him the link right now. Jason Jones. We're going to try to do a bulk of our like regular interviews, like the Deuce and Mo's and the Marshalls and the Jasons. We're going to try to do as many of those through Zoom as we can. Like the Brian Baldingers and those type of guys. Those will probably stay on the phone, but we want to add
the Sacramento crew. They'll hop on a Zoom with us.
Yeah, we want to add a new element here. By the way, Kenny and I are normally talking mad trash right now at this point after the first segment. So we're trying.
Yeah, we're very reserved right now. Look.
Hold up. The Pistons just signed LiAngelo Ball.
Let's go. The Ball family.
They did it.
They're in there.
They did it.
They're in there.
1 year non-guaranteed deal with Detroit.
Wow.
They did it. Okay. Is this his first pro deal? Right?
He had the two-way deal because he was with Oklahoma City's G League or something like that. Like that's where he was before this signing. So I don't know what that deal was. I don't know what that contract was about, but
okay.
He's with the Pistons now, though.
Okay.
No, the comparisons are coming in for Halliburton, and they're not Magic Johnson.
You guys on YouTube, like if you add us on Twitch, search D'Lo and KC. I created a Twitch channel for us yesterday as well. We're hoping to have we're gonna try to be on like Periscope and Twitch, YouTube, all of this stuff. I got to spice this looks so dull. Like we've got to figure out a way to like spice this up a little bit.
Damien, have you ever been on Twitch? Like broadcast?
No. The only live stream.
Watch the Twitch.
I've watched Deuce and Mo on Twitch before.
I was about to say I hadn't, but yeah, I guess I've watched them. I always into video games, so that's why I'm asking.
So that I've never watched anyone play a video game before. That's not something. I mean,
at all or on
Twitch, YouTube. Like I've watched like my nephew play next to me, but I've never watched I've never gone to a screen.
I watched the game.
Yeah, I've never
watched
done
the Madden
that.
game between the homies. It's actually rather entertaining.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. But not something I've done. The only thing I've broadcast on is IG. We did those together. Yeah, I don't think I've even done any without you that I can think
I'm sure you've
of.
done a Periscope. I've done a Periscope.
Nope.
I've done a Periscope.
I don't think so.
Periscope. I like.
Oh, I might have. I don't know. I can't keep track. What's up, Alex P? No, we can't talk trash, Alex P. We can't.
Like my job.
Yeah, we. LeBron James signed an extension with the Los Angeles Lakers today, a 2-year, $85 million extension that will keep his run with the Los Angeles Lakers through the 2023 season. And as
go ahead, finish that.
I was just going to say, as Shams pointed out, that is right around the time that, assuming that the high school to NBA rule changes, that old Bronny James may be in the league and we get our father-son Christmas Day matchup or something along those lines.
I was just going to say, I was literally going to say, so do you see Bronny and LeBron? I thought when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about them being on the same team. I don't think Bronny.
That's harder though.
Yeah, but we'll see. Here's the deal. Bronny can play. Bronny, I think he's going to make the NBA on his talent. On his talent, not just his name. I'm trying to think if he's really an NBA player, but he's good. He can play, right? Not going to be a lottery pick. I can't see that for him. I can't see him being at that level. So I say that to say Lakers will probably be, drafting later in the first round or something like that. Maybe it sounds bad to say, waste a pick and do it for LeBron. And your Bronny maybe 20 picks higher than he's projected to go, just so LeBron could have his son on the squad.
Yeah, I mean that works too. Sure. I mean that's a little bit more out of LeBron's control, though. I guess at this point,
Is it?
well, I was going to say, I guess at this point, maybe not if you read that Clippers article this morning.
Oh man,
Goodness gracious! So
the Clippers, boy, oh boy.
Jason Jones set to join us at 12:30 on some of the Clipper stuff. If you didn't read the article, there's this like how the culture was just thrown off by the acquisitions of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and having their own security guards and their own training spots and dictating this and dictating that. Some of that is pretty like eyebrow raising, but some of it, like the stuff about a trainer and like some of that stuff isn't as uncommon as you might think it is. This was a bird in the Clippers organization just singing.
Or one that's leaving the Clippers organization.
Or that. Yeah. Or that. Maybe one that went across the hall.
Could be.
Maybe
right?
one.
I thought everybody looked bad in there. I thought Kawhi and PG. I mean, it wasn't that egregious. I know, the thought that him living in San Diego made them late for team flights and cancel practices and stuff like that. That's a little bit egregious. But I thought everybody was wrong. I thought the role players there, whether it's the Lou Williams, the Pat Beverly, Montrezl Harrell, those guys that are being rumored to be upset, I thought they looked ridiculous too. They looked jealous. They were like, well, we had something last year. You guys were an 8th seed that really got gifted 2 games by the Warriors. Like, and then this goes back to my theory. They thought they were the stars. They forgot that they were the role players. And this goes back to what I talked about with Pat Bev. When I saw Pat Bev in the bubble sitting out a game with the big 21 chain, I said, hold on, man. Hold on. This is not the Pat Bev that I'm familiar with. Sure enough, they messed up what we had going on. No, you guys are supposed to compliment what they're bringing in, period. You're the role player. Play as the role player. You're not making no decisions around here, Pat Bev. Lost his way. What did Shawn Michaels do that one time? He lost his smile. That's what Pat Bev did, and that's what Montrez and Lou did. They lost their smile. They better find it, too.
Oh man, their moms were really upset about them losing their smile as well, so they just went home. One of the greatest wrestling moments in history. That wasn't the only signing that took place today. The Pistons signed LiAngelo Ball.
Hey,
1 year non-guaranteed deal with Detroit, so he did it. They're all 3 of them are in the league.
He did it.
There you go,
man. I wasn't always the biggest LeVar Ball guy, or whatever the case may be, but he got his boys to the NBA. Well, got all 3 of his boys to the
okay. I mean, did he, or did they? Like maybe he got one, and it's the one that we just said, LiAngelo.
I think Alonzo was gonna go regardless. LaMelo. LaMelo's super talented, but I don't know. See, it's hard to tell because he was brought up in an environment that allowed him to do some of the things that a lot of coaches just would not rock with, right? But he was brought up, he was fostered in this. And when one coach at Chino Hills was like, yo, we're not riding with this no more, LeVar was like, all right, we're out. Like, we're not playing by the rules here. I got a plan. We're going to take him to Lithuania, boost his profile, then we're going to do this little prep school, and all of a sudden number 2 or number 3 pick in the draft. Like, I say all that to say, if LeVar wasn't there and doing all that, and LaMelo just had to stay at Chino Hills or stay at, I don't know, Mater Dei or wherever, I don't know. Like, the concerns about him as a basketball player are real concerns. And if, he didn't have that rocket in his back that is LeVar Ball, if he would be able to overcome that and reach the NBA, at least right now, like, out of Lithuania, like, no.
But I don't think if it wasn't for LeVar Ball, I don't think he'd be at Lithuania. I think he'd be at UCLA. Remember, like he lost eligibility because of big baller brands and shoes and endorsement contracts and all of these sorts of different things. And I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm actually looking forward to seeing LaMelo play. They had said for a long time he might be the best of the three brothers. And I still am of the belief that Lonzo's good. So I'm curious to see him play, although he's in Charlotte, and God knows what's going to happen playing in Charlotte. But
you know who loves LaMelo? My fiance. She's like that's his little brother. Like, she looks at him like little bro, and she's like, "We got to get league pass. I got to see LaMelo. I got to be there for Melo. I got to see him. You know, I got to see what little bro's doing." It's like, okay, all right.
Like you weren't going to get league pass anyways. Come on, man.
Well, she wasn't going to watch. Now she's putting a favorite over Charlotte Hornet games for LaMelo.
Well, you got to get the alert. You got to get the push notification. You got to get league pass and favorite Charlotte so you can get the push notification so you know that when the Charlotte games are on, just like you got to download the radio.com app, register there. It's completely free. You search ESPN 1320, you hit the heart button, and you get the push notifications when D'Lo and KC go live each and every single day, Monday through Friday, on ESPN 1320 and on the radio.com app. And now just for today, as we try some things out, we're live on YouTube as well. So search D'Lo and KC, hit the subscribe button there, and you'll get alerted. You'll get alerted when we go live, whenever we go live. I have no idea when that's going to be. Jesse's asking if Jason is coming on through Zoom. I don't know. I sent him an email. He's coming on through Zoom or the phone. We'll send you the phone number. We'll all find out together in about 4 minutes. I just saw Jason. Him and I did TV together a couple of days ago. I guess I want to get to what Bogey said yesterday, because I feel like you are you took exception to what he said.
That's a little strong.
No? Okay. But I do want to point this out, because we got asked this a lot yesterday after we posted some clips of the media sessions from the Sacramento Kings yesterday. They're not practicing. They didn't practice yesterday. They're not practicing today. They're basically doing workouts. Like, that's it. I mean, like, just get a ball and shoot workout. Like, I don't even know that coaches are out there. They're going through COVID testing. They're going through physicals. They're doing through all of this stuff. And today is what, Kenny, Wednesday? I don't think they're practicing until Sunday. In fact, I don't even think they're all at the Sacramento Kings practice facility at the same time until Sunday. So I'm assuming there's at least a handful of guys on the roster who haven't even met Tyrese Haliburton yet. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's a safe bet.
I think it's just it's the unique circumstances, you know, that we're in. So for those of you who are asking or wondering, no practices have happened yet. And some of the B-roll that you saw on the news, some of the B-roll that we posted on social media, that's just stuff that the Kings sent out. Harrison Barnes shooting around, De'Aaron Fox getting a run. That's it. That's all it is. That's all that's happening this week, or at least until Sunday.
Yeah, it's a different type of training camp right off the jump.
And so Sunday is, I mean, today's December 2nd. Sunday's the 6th. There's a game. Is it Friday?
Yeah, next
Is it
Friday,
the 11th
right?
or 12th? So
it's the 11th. I think it's
the fact is, it doesn't matter if it's the 11th or 12th. It's a couple of days later. They're playing a game. Their first preseason game is the following weekend.
It's crazy. It's a trip,
man.
Welcome to
the NBA, kids. Like, welcome to the NBA, Tyrese. Like we're just good. Oh, by the way, the guy who was probably going to play significant minutes in front of you, he's gone. He's in Atlanta. Like, you've got a chance to earn a spot. You got a coach and a shooting guard that makes $20 million a year that just seemingly don't like each other, no matter what Luke Walton said yesterday. And I respect him for saying we're going to keep in-house stuff in-house. Like, that's totally fine.
Luke Walton didn't say anything to make me think they didn't like each other. Luke Walton probably added to the fact that I don't think they like each other. He wasn't Monty McNair out there.
Okay, post a tweet, tag Buddy Hield that says Buddy Hield doesn't like Luke Walton, and we'll just wait to see if he likes it. That's the ultimate. It's really easy to figure out. Like Buddy's pretty much an open book when it comes to this type of stuff, isn't it? Just put, man, it's a shame Buddy doesn't like Luke Walton, and if he likes it,
and Buddy love like.
Yeah,
you know, I did a deep dive on a few different Instagram last night for whatever reason, just because it was there. And I will say this about Buddy Hield. That boy Rick, man. You seen Buddy?
Oh, yeah, he looks good. Yeah, he looks really good. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he looks.
He's been working.
He looks really good, man. He has done a phenomenal job. I really think it was I think he's done a lot this year, but I think it really started last season, last off season. I think he got into a tremendous routine where he looks phenomenal. Let's bring in Jason Jones here. Jason Jones of The Athletic with us here on D'Lo and KC. Jason, always great to have you. We're just talking about, Buddy Hield looks phenomenal. And I know all three of us are kind of in the same wavelength that when Luke Walton was talking about Buddy Hield yesterday, he didn't say anything wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was on his Instagram last night, man. I mean, he's sculpted out there, man. That boy's ripped, look like he's ready to go. So, that's never, like you just said, that's never been an issue with Buddy Hield. He's a wild guy. He's a gym rat. That's never an issue with him. Monty McNair also spoke on Buddy Hield and he talked to his agent, and he said, we're all on the same page. Jason, do you have any idea what that could be? Mm. Well, Jason, if you called Buddy Hield Klay Thompson, that would only be the second wild comparison on the show today. I don't know if you caught it earlier, but I referenced Tyrese Halliburton being Magic Johnson earlier today.
Yeah, see, yeah, get your man, Jay, get your
Magic himself called him Little Magic. Magic said that.
Jay. we have a yeah. You think this can ultimately work with Buddy, Luke, and the Kings, and that, I feel like the conversation with Buddy Hield completely changed once that contract was signed. Do you think this can ultimately work and Buddy can be a part of the Kings' future moving forward?
No, Jay.
I think we're I think we're losing. Jason has always been notorious for having one of the worst phone connections in all of Sacramento media.
Not to. Oh, I'm not going to put out where he's at, but is it the city? Because that may be a situation. I got somebody out there as well that it may be the city that he's in. They need some more. What are those poles?
Some towers. Some towers. Some poles.
Oh, well, see, he's not home. So
there you go. That's all right. That's all right. We're gonna get some more poles and put them up out there. See. I was gonna say, Kenny's been trying to get me to watch P Valley. He's talking about all these polls. I did watch it. I did. I watched it.
Crooked letter.
Yeah, I watched all 8 or 9 episodes or whatever it was. So
solid show.
It's not bad. No, it is Southern as all hell though.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, y'all gotta go if you got Stars. I think it's got to be Stars, right?
Yeah, Stars.
Yeah, go check out P Valley. Darren was talking about this yesterday, Jason, the pressures of the contract, and he's a guy who's real savvy with the media, and he knows that he's constantly got to grow. What is his role? Because this is a team, it feels like there's a lot going on around him. What is his role going to be in all of this, and in keeping Buddy happy, getting this Tyrese rookie going, keeping things going with Luke Walton, executing the vision Monty McNair wants? It feels like there's a lot of pressure on him this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 And to your point, Jason, I think the time is now. I mean, he's 22. I think he turns 23 this month, matter of fact. So he'll be 23 years old. He's got this is going on 4 years experience in the league. He's got the contract, the vote of confidence from the franchise, the keys to the franchise, essentially. The time is now to be that leader, to be that face of the franchise. And I think, like you and like Damien as well, I think he's up for it. I think he's the perfect guy for this particular situation here in Sacramento. You know what I mean? Like not getting fazed by, the stuff around him, and, not really worrying about where he's at, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like he likes the vibe. He like everything that's going on. You don't need all the other riffraff. I think he's the perfect guy for this situation. Yeah, that's out the window. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jason Jones of The Athletic. Is Marvin healthy? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Jason Jones of The Athletic, co-host of the J Street Vibes podcast, man. We appreciate you as always, my man. Yeah,
I might have to rewatch the whole series again. I might have missed some stuff the first time. I might have to go back and check it out.
Full recap coming on the next episode of J Street Vibes. Appreciate you, Jason. All right. It's not a bad show. I mean, it's an
cricket letter. Cricket letter.
It's an adult show. I didn't know what P Valley was. I was like, all right, it took about 8 seconds for me to figure out what that stood for.
Absolutely.
And boy, and when I say it is Southern, boy, holy crap.
They in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi.
Man.
Middle of nowhere.
Wow.
I don't know what is going on there. All puns and jokes aside, it wasn't interesting. Not the best show in the world, but it kept my attention. Like I was like the storyline wise too. You know what I mean?
As it's one of those things where if you ever watched a bad show and you're like, I got to see it through
all the time.
I got to know how this happens. Then I got to know how this.
Doing that with Power.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are doing that with Power. We're just holding on, hoping that it happens. We're also holding on for the release of the NBA schedule. We've got a couple of leaks. We got the Christmas Day leak. We've got the opening day leak, and we've just found out when we're going to get the rest of the games. We'll let you know what that is as Dealing with Casey continue here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320.
So everybody on YouTube, you guys want to know what I do in between the breaks?
Okay. Please pull out. Look at this. Look at your man.
Popcorn.
He eats popcorn out of that big ass bowl, bro. You eat popcorn like every day.
Love popcorn.
Or as they would say on P Valley, every day. Every day.
I love popcorn. And what I do sometimes, I didn't do it today because it gets a little messy on your fingers and stuff. And hey, I'm working. But you put Parmesan cheese on popcorn.
There you go. Okay.
And it's lit. Learned that a long time ago.
Okay.
There's some good popcorn though.
Every day. Is that your unofficial popcorn bowl or is that like your official popcorn bowl?
Oh, it's the official.
Okay.
I got 2 of them just in case one is still in the sink.
And they just like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This fool sitting around eating and he's not kidding. Like that's what he does every day.
Let me some popcorn, man.
I ain't mad at popcorn. I could pull it off every day.
Some people don't like popcorn though. I'm like, I get you
That's
between
crazy
the
talk.
teeth and all this. Like, relax, everybody. Relax. And then you know what I'm watching too. Army was
Stanford
Florida.
is Stanford. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Army was Florida.
More-
right now.
more
I think I'm going to
obscure.
change to. I think that Maui Invitation is about to come on. Yeah. Well, football's actually. I actually will turn to the football game today. This is a worthy matchup.
Yeah,
But they play at 1.
they're on now.
They're on. Oh, let me get
Yeah,
over
they're
there.
on now.
man.
It's. I think they're about to take the first snap.
Let me get over there, see what these boys talking about. No Lamar, RG3. Oh, Claypool. You know, I like those. I like those Steelers uniforms. I think they're dope. Dope. Love those Steelers uniforms. And I don't even like the Steelers. But their bumblebee joints are.
I don't mind those. Like those ones that are like predominantly yellow or gold or whatever that color
those
is.
trash, the stripes and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, those are a bit rocky.
Don't ever throw back to that, Pittsburgh Steelers. We don't need that throwback. The link to the YouTube. You're curious what I'm doing. Need my popcorn.
Get that TO meme.
Get your popcorn. Either that or the Michael Jackson in Thriller.
Oh yeah. I gotta figure out what the. I'll see if I can text Jonathan. I'd like to try to get something going for us by the new year, but I'll see if we can fix that issue for people who can't join us on Zoom.
I mean, do you get a Christmas tree at your house?
Oh yeah, I mean it's fake. It's already up. I'll put it up.
When did it go up? Over the weekend?
What was our last
for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it probably went up. What was our last day on air? Probably went up Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving.
I got to get mine Saturday.
Hey man, we're an open book. You got something you want to say to me about putting up my Christmas tree early? You shook your head.
Calm down. That's what I wanted to say about that. We hadn't even cut the turkey yet, and you up here putting up the Christmas tree.
Yeah, I put it up on a Wednesday. It was right after our show. I was like, man, I've got some days ahead of me to chill. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tree up, and it's a fake tree.
On Friday.
I didn't want to do it on Friday. I wanted to get in the spirit. I think Thanksgiving.
You weren't even in the spirit of Thanksgiving.
Because Thanksgiving's trash.
Okay, now you've gone too far.
Is that news? You didn't know that about me? Thanksgiving's trash. Like it's gone. I'm glad it's gone. We eliminated. The only good thing about it is you get Thursday off, and by default you get Friday off. That's the only good thing about Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is lit.
It is not lit. People celebrate days where you eat. Like, you could just designate a fat day, right? And cook whatever you want to and eat as much as you want. Like, what are you talking about? You got to wait for Thanksgiving to do it. Man, get out of here.
Thanksgiving, just said, you got jobs like us, or, people working 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You get Thursday and Friday off. Christmas, you don't get Christmas Eve off. You get Christmas Day. So what if Christmas is on a Wednesday, right? You don't get Tuesday off. You're off Wednesday, and you got to go back to work on Thursday.
Yeah.
What?
We had to get creative in our scheduling this year because Christmas was on a Friday, and it was like, that ain't enough. like the Lord didn't want a 3-day weekend; He wanted a 4-day weekend. We've got to get flexible with our days off here.
Yeah, and I love Christmas. It's not a knock on Christmas. I'm just saying, disrespect Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is nothing. Like it's legitimately nothing. Like I'm more excited about the release of the NBA schedule than I am about Thanksgiving.
Okay, relax, calm down.
I'll calm down.
I mean, some of the college basketball we get on Thanksgiving, but it's got hindered a little bit this year, but it was still there.
Okay, and you know how many viewers? You know how many viewers that game had?
One.
And then the kids' parents. They were watching, and maybe the kids, 25. The families, yeah, like the families of each person that was out there. Maybe the coach's wife was watching. That's about it.
Sorry for them 23 million poor souls that watched Detroit and Houston on
Goodness gracious. Watched Matt Patricia getting walked down the plank and poked off by Deshaun Watson, and then followed it up. 7 more million people tuned in to watch something called the football team beat up the artists formerly known as the Dallas Cowboys.
Tragic.
Jeez almighty.
Not
Speaking
me, though. Howard and Belmont. I got to see the young boy Maker, McCord Maker, make his college debut.
He's not kidding, by the way. He's dead serious. He was locked in. And you how many TVs are in the Caraway studio here?
There's one in the studio. There's only one in the studio.
So you've
two in the office. I don't record in the office because we got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So I record in the studio where there's only one. This
Steelers Ravens thing is not going to go very well at all. Like I just took RG3 is the starting quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens today. Dez Bryant is the starting wide receiver. I love me some Dez Bryant, but my goodness, there's already, and I don't even know who the starting running back is. Their entire running back. You think the 49ers had it bad when Jeff Wilson, Tevin Coleman, and Raheem Mostert were all out? The Ravens are virtually in the same exact position. I don't know if they signed I don't know who they signed to be their running backs this week, but it's already going very poorly for this Wednesday 12:40 football game.
I'm not sure what the NFL is doing. Like, how is this good for the game, the season? How is this better than just stopping for a week, putting a week,
because they want to convince you that they beat COVID. That's what they want to do. They want to convince you that, look at what we did. We didn't go to a bubble. Look at what we did. We let fans into our stadiums. Look at what we did. We didn't have to add an 18th week to our schedule. Look at what we did. We are the superior sports league. We navigated this COVID crisis. We got all of these games played. We fulfilled all of our television responsibilities. We had 30 million people. I'm sure there was crossover, but play along. We had 53 million people tune in on Thanksgiving to watch crappy football. Look what we did. We're still the NFL. We're still the king. That's all they want. That's why you got talking heads like Adam Schefter and Booger McFarland singing. Oh, they've done a great job handling all this. Like, what are you talking about? How is this game this game is being played 6 days after it was scheduled. How is this considered the proper thing to do? 6 days after it was scheduled, this game is being played. And the Baltimore Ravens, they've got to play Tuesday. They've got to play next Tuesday against a team that hasn't played by the time they take the field in 12 days. And all the rest in the world ain't going to help the Dallas Cowboys, but still, it's not.
It's still an L. It's still an L for the Cowboys.
Goodness.
But you talked about, if you're the NFL, you talked about going into the season about, if need be, like, we're going to get this season in, because if need be, we've got a 2-month cushion. We can push the Super Bowl back up to 2 months to make sure we get this season in. And you haven't used not 1 week of the 2 months that you have available for what? And it's not because it hasn't been without crisis. There's been plenty of crisis out here. And you just, I agree with everything you said. You're 100% right as to why they haven't. But you told me you had this cushion for a reason, and you're not using it at all.
And tell me, now, 25 players on the Baltimore Ravens have been affected by this.
That is crazy. And
you didn't cancel the game. You postponed it, 3 times? I think it was Sunday. I think it went to either Monday or Tuesday. I think it went to Tuesday, and then it went to Wednesday. But regardless, you postponed it multiple times. how can you cancel a game now? Like, what if Patrick Mahomes and the entire offense for the Kansas City Chiefs go onto the COVID list? How do you justify canceling the game? How do you justify canceling any games when you got half of a roster going on to the COVID list and this game still being played, and you just adjusting the schedule along the way and moving games to Tuesdays and Wednesdays and things like that?
It's a mess. It is a complete mess.
Doesn't Pittsburgh play Monday? Is there a doubleheader Monday?
Yeah,
I feel like we talked about this
football
yesterday.
Team. Yeah, they played a football team at like 2 our time, and then Bills Niners.
That's all that matters.
That.
We'll talk about the San Francisco 49ers.
Bills Niners
in
in Arizona, by the way.
Yes. Again, beautiful job by the National Football League. Goodness gracious. I'm telling you, at some point, my time, but it happens, and my radio career is going to come to an end. And I'll be done. It'd be like, cool. I can tell you with 100% certainty, my Sundays will be spent doing something else. Like I would rather watch these obscure basketball games that you're watching right now than to continue to support this nonsense. This is just trash. They have just conducted themselves so freaking poorly. You're listening to D'Lo and KC on KIFM, West Sacramento Radio.com sports station, and driven by last year's Elk Grove Dodge. I caught it out the corner of my eye. It looked like the Pittsburgh Steelers just gave the ball right back to the Baltimore Ravens. So this is a hell of a Wednesday. This is a hell of a Wednesday afternoon matchup that we've got going on here.
That was ugly.
Imagine this being the game, 10-0. Imagine this, or is it 11-0? Imagine this being the game that you wind up losing. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, by the way, have just been annihilated by their opponents.
Right. Without even testing for anything. They've just been.
Weren't they one of Tennessee's original opponents?
Yeah, they were the.
So the two biggest outbreaks have been when the Pittsburgh Steelers were getting ready to face them, Baltimore and Tennessee being the other one. I want to shift gears to basketball here. Before I do, Manny's on the line. We appreciate hearing from Manny, 916-349-1320, if you want to jump in here. Manny, what's going on, baby?
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Manny, it's ugly in Chicago right now, man. It's ugly. Jeez. But
you okay, Manny? Like, Manny, you don't sound well today, buddy. You all right? Yeah.
Do you like do you like Illinois basketball? Yeah. Top 10 team in the nation.
We got you, buddy. Just we promise to keep you entertained. I know this Chicago thing is just bad, but we'll keep you entertained.
Salam Remy, I have not. You're right. I just got back to it. I haven't checked it out. My bad, Manny. That's my bad. I'm gonna listen to it today when we get off the air. No lie.
Second we get off the air, because the note from our last call is still directly next to me. So as soon as we get off the air while we're working on social media, I'll get to it, man. I promise. Call tomorrow. Bet.
Hit us up. Bet. Hit us up. We'll have a review for you.
We appreciate you, Manny. Thank you, brother. 916-349-1320. It should be noted, I know things are. I mean, Manny, John, I feel bad for Chicago Bears fans, man. It's rough. There are a lot of really bad football teams in the NFL. I mean, I know we all poke fun, and rightfully so, because it's an entire division at the NFC East. But I mean, Carolina's 4-8, Atlanta's 4-7. You go into the other conference, you got the 0-11 Jets, you got the 1-10 Jacksonville Jaguars, you got the 2-8-1 Cincinnati Bengals.
Ugh.
We don't like to talk about this type of stuff on the show, but the Chargers are 3-8. I know you know where I'm going.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anybody else I could blame here before we.
I'm not even
where the.
Yeah.
Finger's going to be pointed at. I don't think I can.
I don't know that I'm even necessarily pointing the finger at him. I'm just saying I don't know what the excuse. Like, this team is just bad. And I know you're bringing in a rookie quarterback. Like, I get all of that stuff. But man,
so
this is tough.
There was a play when they played Buffalo on Sunday. I think it was before the half. I don't know. I heard about it, then I went back and looked at it. I want to make sure I got my timeline correct. But I think there was about a minute or so to go in the half, and it was 4th and 2. And our boy, Anthony Lynn, called a timeout. Like, okay, called a timeout. Maybe he's going to go for it here. No, he just punted. So with a minute to go in the half, 4th and 2, you called a timeout so you can punt it and give the other team more time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with in LA. That's what we're dealing with right now. And I'm breaking down what's the fourth wall, the third wall. I'm breaking it down. He's got to go. He's got to go, Damian.
Man.
He's got to go. We try not to go there all year, but he's got to go.
Kenny, we don't talk about that type of stuff on this show.
He's got to go. He's got to go. What are you doing?
I would be damaging our credibility if I said you're not wrong, but we're not rooting for that type of thing to happen to Anthony Lynn, but because we don't like talking about that type of stuff on this show. But he signed an extension in February.
Oh my goodness.
Wait a minute. The extension only gets him through next season. So he was basically signed to not being the lame duck, similar to what Alvin Gentry got when Griff took over. Like he was put in a position to where he wasn't a lame duck coach. He's not going to see. I don't think he's going to see that next year.
No, he'll be gone relatively soon.
We don't talk about that type of stuff on this show. But the point being, Denver's 4-7, Houston's 4-7. There are so many bad football teams in the NFL this year. And I don't know. I mean, how many job openings? I mean, there already are some. Adam Gase is gone.
Yeah.
I think
once he finishes the job, he's out of there.
I'm not going to say it, but the gentleman that we just spoke of is probably gone. Jacksonville's already made a change. Is Doug Marrone? I know they said Doug Marrone isn't gone this year. Is he gone, for next season? Bill O'Brien has already been fired. Matt Patricia has already been fired. Like, I mean, I don't even know. It's Raheem Morris, right? He's coaching Atlanta. Is he?
Yeah, he's interim. I don't know if he comes back.
Is he going to get a legitimate shot? I doubt it, but is he? I mean, they hadn't won, I think, when they fired Dan Quinn. I think he's like 4-1.
Yeah,
maybe.
He's got him playing some type of way right now.
And I think the one game they lost was the Todd Gurley game where he accidentally scored.
Lions,
yeah. So,
they lost to the Saints too. So he's
in that same time period. Okay,
well, he's like 3-2 or something. He's a winning record, I think.
He's better than Dan Quinn was. I know
Absolutely.
That. Point being is
there's like 7-8 jobs right there.
That's a lot of them. That's for sure. Jets. I mean, opinion only. Jets, Jacksonville. He who shall not be spoken of in Los Angeles. Houston. Houston is already available. I'm looking at Vic Fangio, but I don't know.
Second season. It's a second season, right?
Yeah. I don't think Jerry will pull the trigger on Mike McCarthy. Here's one. Here's a question for you. Doug Peterson. Yeah. I actually researched this yesterday. We didn't get to it, but I looked up like what would be the shortest Super Bowl honeymoon. And it would be if Doug Peterson, and I don't know that this is the right call to get rid of Doug Peterson. But if you do get rid of Doug Peterson, I think it would tie Jim Caldwell, mind you, he went to the Super Bowl, but he lost. He didn't win. He went to the Super Bowl and lost. And it was 2 years later that Peyton got hurt. And so it was a total of 3 seasons from the time he went to the Super Bowl. He had like a tremendous, I think he was 24-8 when Peyton played. 2 of those losses he suffered. Remember, they were 14-0. and Jim
Yeah.
Caldwell sat starters the final 2 weeks of the season at the request of your boy. Make him a wide receiver, Bill Polian.
Definitely not my boy.
So he was 24-8 when Peyton played. 2 of those losses came when he sat players at the end. He wound up finishing 26-22 because they had that disastrous season without Peyton. I mean, it's where they, that's where, I mean, Polian was gone. Obviously Caldwell was gone. They were ushering in an entirely new era with Andrew Luck and everything going on there. And I think that was Chuck Pagano and Bruce Arians that came in there.
So you say Caldwell, and he lost the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was gone 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jim Harbaugh's in there. Jim
Harbaugh lost
to the
too.
Ravens, lost to the Seahawks. They missed the playoffs, and he was gone.
So the winner might be Barry Switzer.
Oh, Barry.
Barry Switzer won the Super Bowl 1995. He won the he won the Super Bowl. For those watching on YouTube, I'm using quotes because we know that was
Donald with the gift.
Well, that was also the roster that Jimmy Johnson built. But regardless,
absolutely.
Barry Switzer won the Super Bowl. He wasn't fired 2 seasons later. He resigned 2 seasons later after a 6-10 season.
Wow.
That might be the shortest Super Bowl hangover there with Barry Switzer, or shortest Super Bowl honeymoon, not hangover.
Especially after winning the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
So, there's Philly. We talked about Atlanta there. Washington just made a switch. They're not doing anything. Detroit, that job is already free as well. Oh, Matt Nagy's going to be fired. Matt Nagy's time in Chicago is over.
Yeah, Chicago, they're going to have wholesale changes, at least on the coaching staff and on the offensive end.
I think a third of the league, damn near a third of the league, is going to have an open head coaching spot. And as many of those same teams are going to be looking for quarterbacks as well.
Man, that's crazy. That is a lot. That is a lot of turnover.
Wild. That's pretty wild. League, man. Doug Peterson is wild. If Doug Peterson is fired, that's pretty. That's so
something. There's a good contingency of people who are just that he even won a Super Bowl in the first place. Like there's people who believed he was no good to begin with, and they had to shut up when he won the Super Bowl. But you want to talk about he is who we thought that he was. Mm-hmm. Like that's what a lot of people feel about him.
Yeah.
So
there have been 4 turnovers in the first 10 minutes of this game so far. This is just the NFL in its most spectacular trash. The NBA Christmas Day schedule used to feel a little bit different. It would be right when the NBA was peaking. Yeah. Like, here we go. The season doesn't start till Christmas. Well, that used to be like figurative. Now it's kind of legitimate. The season's not really starting until Christmas, as it's set to start here. Tentatively, by the way, is the word that was floating around today. It is tentatively scheduled to start December 22nd. I think they're preparing for the worst. They've got the game set. It's the Warriors and the Nets. That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great one to start the season. Yeah. In Brooklyn. The slate of Christmas Day games. I wish I had we tried to guess these. I wish I had the note for them. I don't know if I got any of them right, but the day starts with the Pelicans at the Heat, the Warriors at the Bucks, the Nets at the Celtics, the Mavericks at the Lakers, and the Clippers at the Nuggets. Will close things out on Christmas Day. That's not a bad slate of games whatsoever.
So I was looking through my notes, and I do have my predictions, and I didn't get any of them right. But I had Celtics and Nets. I didn't have the Warriors in there. I didn't have the Pelicans in there. That seems to be the only one that people are like, really? I know they're going to put Zion in there. I don't have a problem watching Zion and the Pelicans. I don't know if they're going to be any good this year, but I don't have no problem with that. But yeah, I didn't pencil them into a Christmas Day game before.
Did you do you have the day that we did this? I love that. Do you have a handwritten notebook in front of you? Because
people on YouTube.
I love that. Well, you have fantastic penmanship. If I had your penmanship, I would. I'll spend the next commercial break trying to search for my. I do not have a handwritten prep sheet next to me. I have it all in my iPad.
Well, I wanted to ask you, and maybe it's just me because I am a proud basketball degenerate, right? So these things are just ingrained into my brain, right?
Go ahead.
Break the walls down. Oh no, that's Jericho.
That's Jericho.
That's a rip.
It's break it down, but it's close.
Yeah,
that's all right. We got you.
Me.
Man, what year is it? Did you just go with the?
Oh, yeah, that's a rip. That's a rip.
Okay, all right.
I do that to my son, and he's like, "What are you doing to me?" But I had to ask you. Christmas Day games were put out there. What is your favorite Christmas Day NBA memory?
I don't think that I have one. I'm going to need a minute to think about that. While I do, let's go to Big Al here. 916-349-1320. Big Al, what's going on, man?
Nice.
Oh man.
Yeah, absolutely. So you agree, Big Al, that Tyrese Halliburton is basically the next Magic Johnson? Yeah, that would be great. My homeboy Mark, he's listens to the show a lot. He put in Andre Miller, and that's probably, he's a little taller than Andre Miller, but that's probably a more accurate comparison for him. And if he turned into Andre Miller, I mean, that'd be great. Andre Miller was a really good NBA player.
I think he's still playing. Like, I could be wrong. I think 55-year-old Andre Miller. He might be in the big three. That's where Andre Miller.
The basketball tournament. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, he might be there. Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't. I know. We don't talk about that stuff on this show, Big Al. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Anthony Lynn's deficiencies. We appreciate you, big fella, man. Thanks as always.
Thanks, Big Al.
All right, we'll step out. We'll come back. There's a lot more to talk about. I'll answer your question, by the way, about Christmas Day memories. And we've got to talk about the 49ers, man. What a difference this stretch of games is. What a difference this week leading into Buffalo means with that game going their way this past Sunday against Los Angeles. So we'll dive into all of that as D'Lo and Casey continue here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320. Good. Jesse. Okay.
Can't start eating my popcorn until we're good.
Like Jesse. We're good. Our YouTube stream fell off a little bit. That interview killed us. Hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Warren, Alex P, Anthony. Who's ever still there, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We're gonna work on this. We're gonna get this all figured out, and we'll get some things set up on Twitch and YouTube and all of that good stuff. I don't know how many subscribers I have on this channel. Mario, Kyron, Tyler.
Hey, is that Mario that does the shoe restorations, man?
I don't think
he's
so.
Bringing my. If it is, you're doing a great job with my shoes, man. You're bringing them back.
I got too many damn shoes, man. We talking about coming up with content. We should do a YouTube live of our shoe closets.
I think you might have me on the low. Like I'll be like putting them out there and doing this and that. And you just kind of like every time I see you, it's like, oh, so you got those? And I see Damien again. Oh, so you got those? It's just me on the low. Damien just be chilling, man. I think you got me, man. So here's the thing, though. I don't throw away any shoes, and I have shoes that I played basketball in college that I technically still have in my closet. I haven't worn in, I don't know, 10 years. Mm-hmm. So that might inflate my numbers a little bit. Like these aren't active shoes that I'm out here wearing.
I've given a lot of them away.
Yeah.
There are some I'm a little frustrated at myself. Like I had a pretty dope, like I've given a lot of Kobe's away. I've dropped the ball on some of those.
I like trash and Kobe's. Like
I'm looking through these notes. There's this note for Tuesday. Bogey traded. Oh man. Christmas. Here we go. I knew I had a team in there that you didn't like. It was Phoenix.
Ugh.
That's who I had. Miami at Philly, I had Miami, Philly, Dallas, Brooklyn.
Philly's not in here. Not Philly.
Oh, that's right. They're not. I had Lakers, Warriors, Boston, Bucks, Clippers, Phoenix.
I think it was the Clippers. Who the Clippers playing again?
Denver.
They're playing Denver, yeah.
So the teams I was wrong about was Denver. And who got Philly space? Which one? Oh, New Orleans. I don't know how I don't know how I missed New Orleans.
Yeah, that's common sense when you think about it.
Of course they're gonna they're gonna force feed us Zion.
I think the only team I didn't have, because I didn't have the Sixers either. For some reason. I thought I might have, but I didn't. Blazers, who probably should be in. I got them in here instead of the Pelicans. Didn't get any matchups right. Next year, I'm going to get some matchups right. Kings are going to be on Christmas next year.
With you here till the top of the hour. So happy that you're here with us. 916-349-1320. If you want to jump in here on these phone lines, you can get us on social media as well at D'Lo and KC and at ESPN 1320. That's both for Twitter and Instagram. You asked me before the break my favorite Christmas Day game. I don't know that I remember Shaq and Kobe playing on Christmas when I think it was Lakers in Miami. Was that the game where Shaq dunked on Bynum came back down, he dunked on Shaq? Was that Christmas?
No, that was like the next year on MLK Day, I think it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I don't even know that I have a Christmas basketball game memory.
I got about 4 or 5. So there's one of them that I remember. I think it was the year Jordan was gone. And it was Knicks Bulls, and like the Knicks had like a Hail Mary at the end of the game or something. Steve Kerr tried to bat it down, but he batted it to Hubert Davis, who hit a game-tying three to send that into overtime. I think the Knicks eventually won.
He went to the Vlade Divac School of Batting, apparently.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I went to the Kings Mavericks, I think it was, in 03 maybe, on Christmas Day at Arco. That was a cool experience, I guess. It was different, but it was cool. Maybe my favorite Christmas Day game of all time. I remember Kobe and Shaq, by the way. That was everybody. That was the
first one, yeah.
On the screen.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But maybe my favorite, Warriors Cavs, the year after the Cavs won the NBA Finals. So the Warriors had gotten KD, and it was just it was so tension filled that Christmas Day game. I think Warriors blew like a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter or something like that. LeBron dunked on Draymond Green, Kyrie Irving hitting the fall away on Clay. That was maybe the best Christmas Day game I've seen. That was an all-timer.
Okay.
That was an all-timer.
I actually remember that game.
Those are the ones that come
I don't know that I put it together that it was on Christmas, but I remember the game for sure. So again, it's the Pelicans at the Heat, the Warriors at the Bucks, Nets, Celtics, Mavericks, Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets. I thought Phoenix was going to sneak in there, and we both just noticed that Philly's not on here. They kept Philly out, but you and I both, neither one of us had the Pelicans in here, which we should have known better. The NBA really wants us to love Zion Williamson and the Pelicans. So
I don't even think the Pelicans are going to be that good this year.
I don't know. The Stan Van Gundy led New Orleans Pelicans. I don't know what they're going to look like either. It'll be something to see.
I think ESPN had them in the playoffs and had the Blazers out.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, man, that is Blazers are so disrespected. Like look, we saw what they did when they're all healthy. Like we just saw. It's one of the last things that we saw. Yeah. And oh yeah, they ain't gonna make the playoffs this year. Like, damn. Like, okay, it's like
making the playoffs sounds crazy.
I'm curious. Was Memphis in the playoffs? Like, are you willing to go Memphis over Portland? Because I'm not.
Absolutely not. I think Memphis is going to be. We talked about it before, but I think they're going to be on the same level as the Kings.
I don't know that they'll be that. I think so too. I don't know. I mean, their development was good last year, but I don't know that they're consistently a good franchise now.
No,
I'm just not. I'm not willing to.
The coach that they have, I don't know his name off the top of my head. He's one of those guys that he had those boys playing hard and playing the right way last year, and they get credit for that.
Talking about Portland?
No, Memphis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, them boys playing hard. Terry Stotts, I know him in Portland.
Yeah,
he always seems maybe the most underrated coach in the game for what he's been able to do consistently over his tenure in Portland. So yeah, Terry Stotts is definitely going to have Portland ready to go.
Yeah, Tyler Jenkins is the
Tyler Jenkins. Oh yeah, Tyler that's right. Jenkins. Because I would have never thought Tyler Jenkins was Tyler Jenkins.
Yeah, I would have. Tyler Jenkins sounds like a for the culture coach. Tyler Jenkins does not sound like a pop culture coach. So there's that Tyler Jenkins.
Tyler Jenkins.
So Tyler Jenkins sounds like a name from a Tyler Perry TBS show or something like that. Or we just can't think of a name of a black guy, so let's call him Tyler Jenkins.
But Tyler Jenkins did a really good job on Memphis last year. A really good job. I think
I still don't buy it though.
No. I think they overachieved. I've said it before. I mean, the difference between them and the Kings last year was Jaren Jackson was healthier more than Marvin Bagley, and that was really what separated the two. Because when Jaren Jackson didn't play, they struggled mightily. So.
Yeah. And health has been the biggest point of conversation for the San Francisco 49ers. And we saw what a little bit of health brings them. When we saw Richard Sherman back for the first time since, what was it, week one? We saw Deebo Samuel, who had, Deebo Samuel was the difference maker. He was the difference between the 49ers winning and the difference between the 49ers winning and losing in that game this past weekend. And I just can't help but think, man, what a different tone. Like, these guys it's Wednesday. I don't know if they're literally on the plane now but they're certainly leaving sometime today. This team is on its way to Arizona. They've got a one-way ticket to Arizona. They don't know when they're coming back. They don't know if they're coming back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It could depend on whether Santa Clara County extends. It's not like the COVID situation is getting better. I can't imagine Santa Clara going, okay, fixed it. Well, come on back. Get back to playing football and having contact sports and all of these different things that we tried to shut down here with this ruling that we put out there. So these guys left. They don't know when they're coming back. They've got home games coming up. They've got, I don't want to say their toughest matchup left, but certainly one of them when they take on the Buffalo Bills coming up on Monday. And just, I can't get over what a difference this week means with them having pulled out that game against Los Angeles, because they lose that game. They're headed to Arizona. Heads are down. The season's over. We're doing KC's quarterback rankings for the San Francisco 49ers next year. We're trying to figure out, if you just get everybody healthy, we're looking forward. Just finish the season with a respectable record. But they get that win. And, we laid this out. Chicago losing, a couple of other, Arizona losing, a couple of other things that went their way. And now all of a sudden they've got a lot of control over whether they're playing in the postseason or not.
They've got life, man. They've got life. And if they would have lost on Sunday against the Rams, would they have been completely out of it? No, but you're probably looking at a run the table situation, and you're dealing with, man, we just lost. We just blew this game in LA that felt like one of our last chances to really do something. Now we got to go to Arizona for a month. It just messes with your whole psyche. But like you mentioned earlier, I think it was on the show call, that field goal going in, those coming back and getting those 2 field goals, getting the game tying one, getting the game winning one, changed absolutely everything. Now you're like, okay, we're in this playoff thing with everybody that lost on Sunday, and we're one game out of a playoff spot. And now going to Arizona, it's more like, man, this sucks, but maybe this can bring us together so we can make a run. You know what I mean? Like, it changed the whole outlook of the remaining schedule for the 49ers. And they're right there, man. They're right there. I know Kyle has put it out there a little bit. Even more of the cavalry might be coming back here. As there's hints about Jimmy and George Kittle possibly rejoining everybody if there's a playoff push to be made.
Yeah, and he's to be clear, he's not talking about them playing on Monday, but he is talking about them playing potentially against Arizona and Seattle in the final 2 weeks of the season. And that's a sped up version of the George Kittle timeline, which George Kittle, he was the one who said, I'll be out a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And Kyle's like, yeah, no, you're not. You're gonna be out a while. So I hope they don't make any silly decisions with either one of them. And I understand the need to make the playoffs. I understand the desire to make the playoffs. I'm not naive to that. Yeah. But also don't put these guys in a position where they're rehabbing all off season and they're not doing any training or anything like that. Because if you put them out there and you come up short, I mean, hell, even if you put them out there and they get hurt and you do wind up getting in the playoffs, ultimately it's not going to be worth it. It's going to end up costing you too much. But if they're in a position where they're healthy and they get the clear from the doctor, although that feels weird because Jimmy Garoppolo was once cleared to play and he managed to suffer a different high ankle sprain on the same ankle, because we learned in 2020, part of the crazy year that is 2020, you actually have 2 ankles on the same leg. We didn't know that before that press conference from Kyle Shanahan. So
Jimmy should be good though. Like, I feel like Jimmy, just the way ankle sprains go, like I don't think he's going to be 100% probably for the next 6 months or something like that. Like, you never going to feel like that, but he should be good within the next. I was at the Arizona game. I feel like if you can, maybe you look to bring it back in the Dallas game. And I'm not taking anybody for granted. Except for the New York Jets. That's the only team I take for granted. But, you You got a little bit of a soft touch there. And if you can bring him back, why not try to bring him back against maybe one of the worst defenses we've seen in the last decade? All right. And get his reps in, get his game reps in. I'd look to bring him back against Dallas personally.
Okay. I mean, I'm with you in the sense of I like Jimmy more than George. George Kittle just doesn't seem like it. I mean, you're going from that would be going from a potential 8-week injury to 6.
Yeah.
Like in 8, remember 8 was on the low end. Like it wasn't an 8-week injury. It was an 8 to 12-week injury, and 8 was on the low end. And all of a sudden, it's 6. Wait, what?
George crazy though, man. Last year he had, I can't remember the specific injury. Maybe Jesse could help me out with that, but he had a cracked kneecap or something like that. It cracked something in the ankle. His ankle was messed up last year. It was supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks. He came back in 3 weeks and played the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So that's him. You know what I mean? Like if he gets the okay from the doctors, like it's healed or whatever, he'll be like, all right, I'll play 6 weeks, 5 weeks, I'll play.
Yeah, that's also where Kyle's got to go. Like, all right, fam, let's wait and see. But it's going to be hard to resist. I mean, this Buffalo game isn't. I have a stat on Buffalo, by the way, as it pertains to Monday Night Football. I don't know if you want me to say it though.
Are back.
They've lost 7 straight games on Monday Night Football.
I'm already worried enough about this game. Like, is it the excitement of beating the Rams? I'm already past that.
Yeah.
Now I'm like,
because it's real. Like, it's real. They got a chance. And so now there's.
But now I'm like, oh, man, I could see this. Everybody all week, the Niners and and me, you, and Danny were on the show call, and we're breaking down the rest of the schedule, and it could all go up in flames if they get beat up on Monday. So I'm already worried. But then you come and you tell me they lost 7 on Monday night. I mean, hell, even Kirk Cousins finally won one on night.
Yeah, he did.
So,
is that Danny, our producer, by the way?
Yeah.
Not
not our producer. My main man Jesse is our producer. That's it. Jesse. Sorry, guys.
I apologize. That was an inside joke.
That's the boss, Ricky Ross, Danny.
Yeah, there you go. 5 of 19 in primetime games the Bills are the last 20 seasons.
Oof.
5 and 19. Those are Kirk Cousins like numbers for primetime games. But yeah, over the last 20 seasons, this is just, and we could talk about the San Francisco 49ers. It's kind of one of those, hey guys, hell of a job. Like you guys, if you guys have shown tremendous heart. I mean, you guys could have rolled over in this season 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, and you didn't. You kept fighting. You've put yourself in a position due to your continued fight, but also due to, other teams kind of falling apart down the stretch. You've put yourself in a good position here. But let's not ignore the fact that they're going up against a team that's 8-3 right now. They're going up against a team that's going to win their division. They're going up against a team that is playing really, really well. Josh Allen, 5 weeks, was in the MVP conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? So so for us, it's like, hey, let's keep what they're doing in perspective. If they're able to get a win, I mean, it's phenomenal if they're able to get a win against Buffalo. But let's not lose our minds if they don't. The fact that we're here in week, well, technically, I guess it's week 12 because there's a football game happening right now, but we're headed into week 13. The fact that given all of the San Francisco 49ers have been through, given the fact that there haven't been more missed games by any roster in the league, by starters from any roster in the league than what has been dealt with by the San Francisco 49ers. The fact that we're even talking about this being a possibility is extraordinary.
Yeah, man, it's a testament, like I said, to Kyle Shanahan. And regardless of what happens to close this season out, he's done what I wanted to see him do and what I talked about after Nick Bosa went down. Keep this team above water. Let's get into the final 4 or 5 weeks of the season with an opportunity, keeping them above water. He's done that. So I have no qualms about Kyle Shanahan and how this team has competed this year. I'm saying it right now with 4 or 5 games left. I have no problem with it. They showed me a lot. Now, the other reason for excitement, though, Damian, is this team consistently shows when they have their horses, they're a problem. Let's think back to the times when they've had their horses this year. I know some people might say week 1, Debo was still out then. I don't think Brandon Ayuk played that game either.
Did not.
So they had their horses against the Rams the first time and looked very good. Against the Patriots, dominated them. And then they had a good amount of their horses last week against a Rams team who, just as much as we think those are good, remember how we were talking about the Rams going into this past week. Best team in the NFC, best defense. They looked great after Monday night. And with some of their horses, not even all of them, some of them, the Niners were able to get up in there and look impressive and compete and give themselves an opportunity to win. I could see the same thing happening on Monday.
There might be one anomaly to that. Was everybody around for Miami?
Yeah. Well, the defense wasn't there.
I mean, obviously Richard Sherman wasn't around. Oh, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
But offensively, Debo was there. I think Ayuk was there.
Poor Brian Allen.
Yeah, Brian Allen lives in infamy.
That had to be the worst week of that young man's life. He got picked. Was that Witherspoon who was like opting in and out of the game as the game was happening? Yeah, that was a bizarre one. Yeah, that was a bizarre one.
So, but they offensively they did have all their guys there. I think everybody was there offensively.
So since we're talking about the defense here, D Ford hasn't seen the field for the San Francisco 49ers since week 1 due to a back injury. Tuesday, Kyle Shanahan said he doesn't expect D Ford to play this season. Now, that's not necessarily stunning news for you and I, as we've talked about that. It's not stunning news for anybody who regularly listens to us. We've kind of gone with the assumption that D Ford isn't going to be back this year. Is this Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch's biggest misstep? And I include both of them because I don't believe John Lynch makes these decisions by himself. So I'm not going to blame John Lynch and not blame Kyle Shanahan for this. I think they work in tandem when it comes to personnel. And this just feels like their biggest misstep.
Absolutely. So here's the deal. If you're talking free agency wise, probably so. They've had some ugly moments in the draft. I mean, Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster, Joe Williams, the running back out of Utah, CJ Beathard. I don't want to put this on him just yet, but looking like Mike McGlinchey might be a huge miss in the first round. So this one, the idea was right. The idea was we can be really special if he stays healthy. He's had injury issues his entire career. So this is nothing new. And they were. When he was healthy, they were special. Not just good, they were special. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, this is the biggest, misstep in the tenure of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. But what they did, and I think D Ford had a lot to do with it, what they did got them 5 minutes away from a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Not saying it was their plan, not saying that they were like, if we get Ford, this is the missing link for us to get in the Super Bowl. I can guarantee you they didn't necessarily think that, but that's what happened. That D Ford, Nick Bosa combo got them 5 minutes away from a Super Bowl that they should have won.
But they didn't.
Yeah, talk about it once a week.
I know it's a lot more than once a week, by the way. It's a lot more than once a week. But I mean, that's an expensive Super Bowl loss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this, maybe it's too early I assume D Ford is going to be on the roster next year, but.
Oh, no, I don't think he's going to be on the roster at all next year. Even if he came back next week and played the rest of the season, he's done as a 49er after this year.
He ain't coming back next week. He ain't coming back next week. That's for sure.
He was going into the season. This was his last season as a 49er.
What other really?
I thought
okay.
So. Yeah.
All right. We'll leave it at that then. By the way, 4-hour edition of D'Lo and KC coming up on Monday, leading in to this game against the Buffalo Bills, leading into this Monday night game against the Buffalo Bills. We'll have D'Lo and KC from 12 to 2. We'll have game day with D'Lo and KC from 2 till 4:15, and then we'll be back with game day after dark immediately following Monday Night Football.
I don't want to waste our producer Jesse's fine work. He did find what George Kittle was dealing with last year.
Okay.
He had a broken bone in his ankle and already had a torn labrum. And I think he was out 2 weeks.
That's
Seattle
insane.
game. I think they had a bye. No, he missed Seattle, Arizona, and he came back against Green Bay. So he missed 2 weeks.
Farling, Jenny Caraway. 4 topics, 2 arguments, no winners. One-on-one with D-Lo and KC.
I just came across this headline that says the NFL defends decision to play Steelers-Ravens with their doctor, saying we can say with confidence that there is no active infection among the players, coaches, and staff on the Ravens sideline. All right, that's good. But wasn't there a conversation earlier this year about competitive balance, or did we just kind of say the hell with that?
They definitely said the hell with that.
Okay.
Definitely. They said the hell with that. Well, you can say it was on that Thursday night with the 49ers and the Packers, but it was for sure to hell with that after what they did in Denver on Sunday.
Roger Goodell called it a remarkable achievement for the league to have made it through 12 of its 17 regular season weeks without canceling a game.
Man, come on, man. Come on, man.
What
are we doing, man? Stop it.
I'm not gonna say who, but he sounds exactly like somebody. That somebody has recently lost their job, but he sounds exactly like that somebody. Let's move along here. Wow. No major changes. This isn't a question for you, partner. I just feel like we've got to point this out here on the show. As I was once a big college football fan, and I will be again when the bowl season gets here. I'm just not now because I don't know what any of it means. And there were no major changes in the college football playoff rankings yesterday, with Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, and Ohio State remaining as the top 4 teams. There is widespread concern, though, that Ohio State, Michigan State could be canceled. If it is, that puts that essentially that eliminates Ohio State by their own rules, which, by the way, they've made up completely on the fly. Like this, it's not like these are like long-standing traditions. Like these are things that are being made up as we go. But if Ohio State misses another game, this could mark the end of their chance for the playoff.
Yeah, and that would probably put, the way things are looking right now, would probably put Texas A&M in there, or Florida. One thing that I forgot about this whole thing, and I can't remember if this was the case the last time they were in the college football playoff. I don't think it was, but Notre Dame is going to be playing in the ACC championship game against Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Is that a loser leaves town type deal? Well,
probably not.
If Clemson loses, you can't put them in the playoff with 2 losses.
Okay.
I think Notre Dame might be able to survive with 1.
That's the thing. Who was? Wait, was Clemson's other loss to Notre Dame?
Yeah, they lost.
Oh, so their 2 losses would have been against Notre Dame. Yeah, maybe you're probably right, but again, you just kind of make stuff up as we go. They're going to look at Clemson and go, okay, they've lost to Notre Dame, who we're ranked here as second, versus A&M, who is A&M. Ohio State's schedule is terrible. Like Ohio State is getting in because I think everybody knows that they have a team that is capable of playing with the 3 teams that are ranked above them. They can't put them any higher because they haven't beaten anybody, and they're not going to beat anybody. Michigan is terrible. Michigan State is, everybody left on their schedule is freaking awful. Right. So they're not going to get any quality wins or strength of schedule, but there's storylines to watch in these rules that have been made up as recently as last week they can't miss another game or they would be ineligible for the Big Ten championship, which would eliminate them from the college football playoff.
Which leads to my one-on-one question here, and that is Kirk Herbstreit, Ohio State alumni, ESPN analyst. He essentially did Michigan not to wave the white flag and keep Ohio State from not being in the college football playoff. He said you guys, basically saying you guys better play and all this other stuff. He got a lot of flack for that. He got a lot of flack for saying that. He came out later saying, I quote, "I had no business at all saying that. I have no evidence. It was completely to the University of Michigan, to Jim Harbaugh, and to his players and to his coaches." He said, "In college football, I really struggle with where we are. Players opting out, teams canceling games. It just seems like it's a downward spiral. I try to remain positive and upbeat, and I think since we all have our breaking points." End quote. So I have Damian with Kirk Herbstreit daring Michigan to play and not to forfeit so Ohio State can get in. Was that fair or foul?
I think a lot of people wanted to see where Ohio State would be. The concern on Friday.
Yeah, that I don't know why it was coming across weird like that, but yeah, no, that was foul. That was foul. I don't like it wasn't just foul, like it was double foul. It was like triple foul. Like that is a horrible look on Herbie's part. Like what are you doing? Like you can't. Like what are you talking about? Like Michigan, ducking out of this game to eliminate Ohio State. Like that is insane. I can't believe he said that on freaking national television. And I think Reese called him on it. Reese Davis was like, okay, like if he didn't use the term tongue in cheek, but like if you're kidding here, like that's one thing. But there's no way that this is true. There's no way that you could possibly be insinuating Michigan would, drop out of this Ohio State game just to eliminate Ohio State. And then he went through the rest of the show without cleaning it up. And I'm positive he got multiple calls when that broadcast ends saying, hey, that ain't going to fly. Like you can't say that.
He can't say that. Not the position that he's in.
Right.
And what he's trying to do. I'm going to ask the question, though, Damian. Is it crazy to think that Jim Harbaugh might have that? Not that he might do it, but that he would have that in his mind.
If it had flown under the radar and no one had been talking about it, like, yeah, he could probably pull it off. He could probably be like, oh, we've got a COVID infection. We can't play. Or, oh, we have, whatever. I don't know. But now, like, you can't because everyone's
there's no way.
Antennas are up.
See the papers with the COVID test that's keeping you from playing or something like that. You got to be out there.
With that said, though, what's worse at this point for Harbaugh? Ducking Ohio State in the COVID season or losing to Ohio State again? Because there's no excuse for losing to Ohio State. It's not like, oh, well, he lost in the COVID season. It's like, no, he freaking lost to Ohio State again.
Nah, it's absolutely ducking Ohio State. That would be a new level of patheticness.
That would probably eliminate an opportunity to coach the coveted Detroit Lions, which is, I think, that's going to be speculation until that job is filled.
We mentioned it earlier, though. Harbaugh's going to have his pick from all these positions. Might go back to Chicago.
But is he if you were is this a recruiting problem? Is that why he stinks? That's not because his first year, he's so overachieved at Michigan. Like Michigan was terrible. They were awful in terms of players, but he was great. And he got so much out of that team. Like they were so good so early. And it feels like every year since that the first or second year, it's just kind of, dwindled away.
That's how he goes. That's what he does. That's how he goes. Harbaugh is extremely predictable as a coach. And once you figure him out, he doesn't have any changeup. He don't have no curveball. And that's what the whole is figuring him out. They know how to coach against him. So I say that to say he can come to the NFL and have wild success in his first couple of seasons, like he did with the 49ers. and then he figured out, well, I don't know, maybe it won't even be that because now the book is out on him when he's in the NFL. So maybe they'll just he's doing from the start, but he's gonna get an opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. He will. 10-3 his first season in 2015. 10-3 his second season, then 8-5. 10-3 again in 2018. 9-4, and then 2-4 right now. And he's 1-4 in bowl games. And the only number that matters to those folks in Ann Arbor is that he's never beaten Ohio State.
Lloyd Carr, the great Lloyd Carr, got fired. Lloyd Carr won national championships at Michigan, and they let that man go. Multiple Rose Bowls, and they let that man go because he couldn't beat Ohio State for about 5-6 years. What do you think they're going to do to Jim Harbaugh?
I don't know. I don't have a definitive answer to that. I don't know that they're just going to let it.
Yeah.
Like Harbaugh, but is that going to be his call? Is that going to be Jim Harbaugh's call, or is that going to be Michigan's call?
However they want to word it, he ain't coming back.
I feel like Harbaugh's a drifter. He just like he gets bored. Like maybe he's bored in Michigan.
Harbaugh, how can you get bored and just start getting smacked
I don't
up
know.
by everybody?
I'm trying to come up with some explanation for this, man. I don't have one, and I'm
going
to need
That's the explanation.
I don't think that's the answer though. Like his records just don't show that.
Pony. He's a one-trick pony, and once you figure it out, he's got no plan B. I've seen it with my own eyes for the last 10 years. The last 10 years, I've seen it.
Brandon Ayuk has been activated.
Let's go.
Just throw that out there for
Yak
you.
Bro, Kittle won't be there, but the other Yak Bros, in effect, I'm ready for Monday.
Not bad news. I see that. How about this? Are you ready for the weekend? No. The weekend with an E, the weekend of football, when week 13 actually begins. I want you to pick an NFC East team to win this week. Just this week. Okay. All 4 NFC East teams are on the road. But you've got to pick one. The Cowboys are at the Ravens. That's Tuesday. The Giants are at the Seahawks. The Eagles are at the Packers. And the football team is at the Steelers.
Oh, wow.
My goodness.
First of all 4 of them are going to lose. That's first and foremost.
It's not the question, sir.
To answer
you
your
are
question,
forced to pick a winner.
To answer your question, I think I'm going with the Giants.
I knew you were going to say that.
Okay. Giants.
What if Daniel Jones doesn't play? You hate Seattle, and it drives me crazy.
I definitely do hate Seattle. But didn't I have them at number 1 in the league one time in my power rankings?
Once. And you regretted it.
Like they deserved it.
Like, no, they deserved it like the whole first part of the year.
Stop it.
But you, like, I think you vomited in your empty popcorn bowl after you put the Seahawks at number 1.
It's the Giants, though. And no, Daniel Jones won't play. That's the only thing they're not that nobody's winning, right? If Daniel Jones was there, maybe I'd say they can actually pull that thing off. Well, Colt McCoy, I think that's who the quarterback is. They're not winning that game. But they got the best shot. The Eagles ain't beating nobody. The Eagles? The Eagles? They ain't beating nobody. And we know the Cowboys ain't never. Cowboys are kin to the Jets right now. They ain't winning nothing. And then you got the football team going up against the only undefeated team left in football. They gonna give them the first loss?
Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith, all of those hot take, the other dude who used to work with Stephen A. Skip, they all need something to talk about on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys are going to beat the Ravens. Okay. The Ravens are going to hit. The Ravens are hitting like an ultimate low here with this COVID push game here against Baltimore that's happening. And then the Tuesday game. Hey, where are you going? Hey, sit down, man. We still got 2.5 minutes left of the show. Kenny's leaving.
You just told me the Cowboys are going to win a football game.
They are. I got to pick one. You just told me the Giants were going to beat the Seahawks. That ain't happening. The Cowboys are going to beat the... Oh, shut up. Stop it. I mean, you're not wrong, but stop it. These teams have, what was it, four wins? They got, no one's winning this weekend.
We agree on that.
It's going to be week 13, 14. And the division leader is going to have 4 wins. That is insane.
Wow.
That is absolutely insane.
Wow. Unreal. Let me get this last one in because I tiptoed around this all week. Tyson, Roy Jones happened on Saturday, and I thought it was a spectacle from the beginning. It ended up being a really good broadcast. They did a 1.2 million buys on pay-per-view.
Wow.
So my question to you, Damien, is should Tyson do this again?
No, we went over this before. I don't think boxing is an exhibition sport. I understand. And 1.2 is really the exclamation mark that says he's going to do it again. Absolutely. But he shouldn't. He absolutely should not. But
for a point of reference, dude, I told you to watch Gervonta Davis about a month ago, right? I was like, you go buy this. You did it. You watched it. Everybody enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I think they did like 300,000 buys. And everybody thought that was a success. 1.2 million buys.
Boxing should not be an exhibition sport. And Evander Holyfield, for the love of God, Evander Holyfield telling him to do that's not okay. Like, those guys cannot fight. Like, that is absolutely not okay. We appreciate you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you for being with us. We'll be back tomorrow. Ray Ratto will be with us tomorrow. Ray Ratto's coming up right now. Damon Ratto and Kolsky next here on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320.
Holla.
Oh man, thanks for checking out. Yeah. We'll get all of we'll get the kinks rolled out. We'll wind up on Twitch and Periscope and all of those different things, man. I just we thought we'd kind of throw it out there, see what it looked like today, and we don't want y'all to miss Kenny eating his popcorn. So thanks for checking this out, man. We appreciate it. And we'll hook this up again here.